Hey, what's up, party people? Hi! Welcome. Happy Saturday. Hope you're doing well. Ready for some more law? We are lawing it up. I feel like I'm getting the real lawyer experience right now because my back hurts and I have to go stand in court. Well, no, I guess we're not doing court this time. My back hurts and I have to stand everywhere. I have to run around. The worst job in the world. But I guess the pay is pretty good. Hey, I'm good. I'm good. I feel like my back pain kind of reared its ugly head again, unfortunately. But I got some new Tylenol, some rapid release Tylenol, and it seems to be helping pretty well. So I'm okay right now. But whew, this morning when I got up and was just moving around in the morning, I was like, oh, what happened? I still don't really know what happened. I still don't know what the heck happened. I just slept weird, I guess. I kind of sleep in some weird positions. I'm kind of all up in my stuff. Chickens, hey, welcome. Good to see you. Hope you're doing well. It's gummy time. It's gummy time indeed. He is all up in this case, yeah. Yeah, I mean, you know, it is what it is. I got this like rapid release Tylenol. I didn't even know that was a thing. I was taking the regular Tylenol. It didn't really seem to be doing anything. I don't know. Maybe something to do with maybe something absorbing faster. I don't know. It looks different. It's like blue and red instead of the normal red. But yeah. So far I'm good. I think we'll be on track to heal soon. I think we're gonna be good. Anyway, yeah, so Reminiscence. This is the first case chronologically at the time it came out. It was superseded by a case in Investigations 2, and then later by Greatest Attorney. You know, just the whole thing. Like, just yes. Great to see you. Great to see you. And yeah, Gumshoe got framed for a guy being murdered just in the recess during a trial. Was it the guy on trial or was it the other guy? Something like that. Oh no, yes, it was Faraday. It was who actually turns out to be Kay's father, which is interesting. And she's here, and yeah, it's a lot. It's a lot. I think I was very surprised to find out that Miles actually knew Kay when she was younger. Which is interesting that because he doesn't seem to remember her at all. It feels, I don't know. I feel like that whole thing might have made a stronger impression on somebody, but I don't know. Kay is great. I like Kay. I wish they introduced her a little earlier, but I like her. Hi Arrow, welcome. Good to see you. Yeah, he has bad memory, I guess. Or maybe his brain is just full from all the laws he has to memorize, you know? No, lawyers don't memorize laws, I don't think. I think they look up laws just as much as anybody else. I don't think you usually want to memorize things that you would rather, you know, would be better to look up yourself. Edgeworth memorizes them. Oh, okay, got it. So yeah, his brain is just full. He can't remember anything else. That's wild. Imagine if he didn't have all that brain space taken up. Maybe he would remember key events in his life. Oh, okay. It's like a headcanon. Honestly, I believe it. I accept this headcanon. That does seem like something he would do. I'm sure he did it in law school. Like he just, you know, he would just bar off a bunch of, you know, case law or whatever. Back in the day when you had to go to one of those big law libraries and get out a book that had case law in it. I guess is what lawyers used to do back in the day. Now it's all online, I think, but well, I don't know. Maybe they still do use books. do think K only coming in on case 3 is bad, but Shi Long Lang has it worse. He's only in case 3 in the final case. He's technically in this case and only has a minor cameo. Yeah, he's great. He's great. He's great. Seems like the type of silly thing you do, and you tap his head and smirk like, haha, you have to refer to books and Google searches to remember what I took to heart ages ago. Very true. Very true. He's got so many case examples of torch stored in his meticulous little drawers up there. Yeah, he's got the mind temple. He's got the Sherlock Holmes mind temple, you know? when he's trying to remember case law, he's like doing the BBC Sherlock thing where he's like bringing his hands all around. He's like, there's words scrolling around, you know what I mean? That's Edgeworth when he's thinking about torts and case law. Edgeworth memorizes laws. Does he get tripped up by outdated laws? Apparently, you know, that's probably true. Considering he, you know, has outdated autopsy reports. That's like the big joke. He has an outdated autopsy report and he waits until trial to tell anybody about it. Updated the autopsy report. Yeah. Salary cutting noises. All right. Why don't we get started here? I think we're right. I basically just, it's like beginning, middle, end part 1 and part 2. So we're pretty much right in the middle of it, even though it's technically end. I don't know why they can't just number the chapters. It kind of seems like the numbering scheme is a little odd, but that's fine. Okay. No more fun allowed. Let's load that autosave. The autopsy report that he forgot to mention until mid-trial is another example of Edward's poor memory. Yeah, he really tried to play it off cool, but yeah, it was pretty much that. All right, we're back in the defendant lobby. Oh, right, I forgot Franziska is here too. I'm so sorry, Franziska. She would whip me if she found out that I forgot. What is this incredibly overpowering sweet scent? It smells like flowers. Oh, Uncle Bad, is this it? Isn't that Detective Bad and Kay over there? It looks like she managed to escape the bailiff. Yeah, really good music in this game. So there's some real standouts in this one. It's really good. No, that's not quite it. Aw, too bad, but it's so pretty. I think you're still a bit too young to be wearing that. But since you found it, I guess I can let you keep it. Thanks, I'll treasure it always. Those two seem to get along rather well. Sucks how we got young Fran in this game and not older Fran in the 3DS. True! I need to see 3D Franziska. She exists only in the 2D plane. It's just so sad. Oh, here, I've got something else for you. Yay, thank you, Uncle Bad. Oh, she is absolutely noshing on that thing. Earlier, I ate one of these with Gummy. Gummy? Oh, you mean Gumshoe. Gummy is... He was trying to be nice to me because I was gonna get in trouble. And then he got in trouble because he lied to protect me. Gummy. I know he didn't kill Daddy. Don't cry. Faraday would be sad if he saw you crying. 3D Godot, so true. Oh my gosh, I miss him so much. If they ever do Ace Attorney 7, they just gotta do like an AI Somnium Files dance number right at the beginning. Everyone needs to just dance in the beginning, just so you can see everybody in 3D. Do that. That's the only opening to AA7 I will accept. 3D leg, yes, powerful. That's powerful. I'm not crying. Okay. Oh, it's the mister from before and the lady, too. Don't you think it would be a good idea to go home for the time being? You're not involved in the investigation, so it's for the best if you do. Actually, I'm Uncle Bad's assistant, so I'm related to the investigation. Is that so, Detective Bad? Yeah, I guess. What? You were just scolding us like kids not to mess up this crime scene. And now you let this child run free. Why? Oh, Franziska, you are also a child. People are free to investigate things outside of the actual crime scene. You also had a few things she wanted to look into. Got a problem with that? I don't have a problem with that, but I am curious as to what Miss Yu is looking into. Uncle Pat, I'm gonna go look somewhere else now, okay? Alright, I'm counting on you. Oh, that's right. Hey, mister. Yes, what is it? I know Gummy isn't really the bad guy. I mean it. So, please, find the real bad guy, okay? I won't forgive whoever did this. But in the absence of the perfect piece of testimony and evidence, there is no one else who could be the true culprit other than Detective Gumshoe. She wandered off while I was pondering. Oh great, we got an unsupervised child on the loose again. Just great. Just great. Let's see here. Are we still investigating, or are we just gonna... Are we walking out? Are we talking to him? What exactly was Case searching for? Nothing that concerns you. The open window. Oh, I didn't notice that. Yeah, there's another unsupervised child. There's too many of them. Nothing that concerns you, boy. Oh, and I suppose it has something to do with Kay? It does, because she's Faraday's daughter. Anyway, hurry up and get to the point. I love the mirror taking out Sprite. It's very, I don't know. It's very in character. I don't have time to waste. It sounds like he'd rather be left alone. I have something I'd like to confirm with you once again. I don't have anything to say to you. Waving it right in his face. Be that as it may, we still have questions that we need answers to. Now then, first of all, what is the overpowering smell that is permeating this room? Show not tell Sprite storytelling. Exactly. This game really excels at that with a lot of the minor characters. Back when we get away with taking out because he is a cop. He was just feeling the cop would go, he's got a gun, and fill his body with holes in his coat. Oh, unfortunately, you're right. Also, actually, I didn't notice the holes until just now. Are those supposed to be bullet holes? Wow. Upon entering this room, I thought it was going to suffocate. It's that ultra-strong perfume Yu wears. She spilled some of it. I was having a bad time of it myself. I didn't think twice and opened the window, but that smell's still here. Swiss cheese, man, literally. Perfume, huh? Is your salary not high enough to get another coat? So the sweet scent in the air is perfume. Well, it's giving off quite a stench. I bet it's some cheap no-name brand. She said it's a famous brand from overseas. It's knockoff. Yes, definitely a knockoff. No disrespect, but she forced one of those bottles on me. Here, little girl, you can have it. I was born for a much more expensive and refined perfume. However, seeing as you just happen to have a spare, I suppose I'll take it. Miles Edgeworth, you will hold on to this bottle without fail. Why can't she ever be honest about her wants? Definitely looks like a pretty fancy perfume. So now we have the perfume Miss Yu wears. Just fantastic. Is that all you wanted to talk about? If so, I'm going back to investigating. Actually, I still have a few other things I wish to inquire about. During the recess. So you were in this room the entire recess. Like I said, I made a call to the precinct to get that big lug down here. But other than that, I was waiting for the recess to end in here. At least your story is consistent. Earlier, you stated that you were in this lobby with Miss Yu. Yeah, I ran into her in the hallway. She said she wanted to talk to me about something, so we came in here. Then what you're saying is that until Detective Gumshoe's arrival, you and Miss Yu were in two different locations. Guess I am. Interesting. Speaking of that lawyer, she seems to have a great dislike for you. Oh. Looking at Bad K Lang, this game has some good character designs. Honestly, yeah, they're all really strong. Everyone has just a very good visual language. I don't know. Like the Wolfman, you look at the Wolfman and you're like, that sure is a Wolfman. You look at Detective Bad and you're like, that guy's a loose cannon that guy's a loose cannon down at the precinct. I know that much. Let's see. Miss Yu is the sister of the victim of the KG-8 incident. And as I recall, Detective Bad was the lead detective on that case. I wonder if the reason for her disdain isn't simply because you failed to guard Cece, but because you were the lead detective on the case. You know? I also know that today's trial involving the Kadopian embassy staff member is being referred to as the second KG-8 incident. Now then, detective, I believe it was time you were honest with me and told me the truth behind your relationship with Miss Yu and Mr. Faraday and the KG-8 incident. How you like them apples? If you already know that much, I guess it'd be alright to tell you. KG-8 incident! Now then, I'd like to ask you a few questions about the KG-8 incident. It's not exactly a happy story, other than the people who are directly involved. You two will be the first to hear what I'm about to tell. Now then, detective, don't be bad. You know I can kill you, you know? You know I have a gun. I have a firearm. You know that, right? I'm a cop. The honest truth behind the KG-8 incident. Did he always have that lollipop? I feel like that's new. Faraday, you and I. As you already know, we three were involved with the KG-8 incident. Faraday and I, we were originally on the trail of a smuggling ring. You mean the smuggling case involving one of the Amano Group's secretaries? Huh, that trial was just a front. A facade? Yeah, but the case became tainted. All because the witness who was gonna testify about the Amano Group's ties to the smuggling ring, CCU, was killed. Then what became of the secretary who was arrested? Oh, he's doing, yeah, he's doing the cigarette thing. Honestly, it's hard not to when you have one of those things. I can't believe this. I can't believe this. Oh, you like a little candy? You like a little candy, Wendy? His name was Colin Devore. Yep, the secretary. To be honest, the guy didn't know a thing about the smuggling ring. But he confessed to knowing about it anyway. Devore was probably being intimidated by the big boss man. Just another scapegoat. The boss man of the Amano Group. He can't seriously mean Mr. Ernest Amano. That can't be right. It's probably just Detective Bad's personal hypothesis. What is he trying to do, suspecting Mr. Amano of being involved with smuggling? I suppose it would have been quite difficult to secure an acquittal after he confessed. But the man who killed CCU, Manny Cochin, was a completely different person. Yeah, it's all connected. It's crazy how everything is coming back together. This game is doing that really well. But since he's already been acquitted once of her murder, Mr. Faraday, how could you have let him go? Yeah, I'm sorry, detective, but that theory is just bad. I see you for what you really are. I heard that Mr. Faraday had an important piece of evidence stolen from him. That wasn't Faraday's fault. It was mine. I wasn't vigilant enough. Faraday, Cece, I was supposed to protect them both. Miss Yu did mention that as well, about how Detective Bad was supposed to guard her sister. But even I was supposed to protect them. I fell into their trap. What kind of a trap? The holes in this jacket are a testament to that trap. You mean, you were fired upon? Seems like quite a bit, actually. You were shot at that many times in one gunfight? No, only about half of these are from that case. But The reason I continue to wear this jacket is to remind myself of the lessons I learned from the KG-8 incident. I see. I couldn't protect CCU, and the suspect was found not guilty. We had hit a brick wall, as far as the law was concerned. And that's when she came into the courtroom, the victim's sister. That's when I first met Callisto Yu. Yeah, honestly, that's some, like, hero of justice type stuff, you know? Ally of justice. Yeah, maybe, you know? He goes to the jacket store and he goes to the rack of jackets that are identical to this one. And all of a sudden he just gets antsy and leaves. You know, it happens. I bet when you first met Miss Yu, it was on the day the verdict of the KG-8 incident was handed down, was it not? Yes, Faraday and I. We apologized for her from the bottom of our hearts. It was all we could do, but it happens. Honestly, co-stores are a lot. They're a commitment. There's a lot going on in there. Sometimes there's like different sales environments too. Like sometimes they're like pushy salespeople. Sometimes they're like completely absent. When I feel like there probably should be a little bit of a balance of the two, but it varies so wildly. But then again, I don't always want to buy clothes online, right? Trying on is a big thing. Just saying you're sorry won't bring my sister back, she said. And then she gave me a hard slap across the face. Well, she certainly had a lot of self-control to stop at just a slap. If it was me, not even 100 lashes would have been punishment enough. Suppose not. You said it herself. That she never wanted to see either of us ever again. But after that, you've seen her many times over, correct? Yeah, Faraday and I. Even after the KG-8 incident had come to a close. We continued to hunt down the smuggling ring and got involved in a variety of cases. But it was no use. We cracked so many different cases. But the result was always the same. We couldn't find the real mastermind behind the ring. Is the ring really that big? It was in the pursuit of the ring that we met you once again. It was during another trial relating to the smuggling ring. Faraday was the prosecutor, and I, as the lead detective, took to the witness stand. She appeared out of the blue as the defense attorney. Her client was related to the smuggling ring, and she was defending them? Yeah. Yu was pursuing the ring as best she could as a lawyer. I think she defended Rel this time, for the same reason. Come to think of it, Miss Yu did say something to the same effect. I have my own agenda. Hi, Dustbird. Wait, really? Oh my gosh, I didn't notice that. I didn't even notice the holes until Arrow just pointed them out. I'm getting a drink, one sec. Okay. I love her. She's such a silly girl. I'm still on the hunt for leads regarding the KG-8 incident, alright? And for that, you have not a single qualm about defending a known killer? Don't put words in my mouth. I said no such thing. The only way I had to get close to Mr. Rel was to be his lawyer. I had no intention of covering for him. Ever. So don't you dare suggest I was going to. Doesn't matter what a reason is. Helping a criminal is just despicable. You're so naive, little girl. He even takes it out of his mouth like a cigarette. Come on, man. I could have stolen this lollipop from you. That's how naive you are. How dare you insult the daughter of Avant Karma? Just like us, you felt that she had hit the limit of what the law could do. That's all. The law is merely a tool. There is no limit to it, only the skill of the craftsman. Honestly, Yeah, like, oh gosh, do you maybe I'm dating myself a little bit. Do you guys remember like those candy cigarettes? They're literally just like white sticks of candy. I don't see those around too much anymore, but I always used to get them because they were like the cheapest candy you could get. Yeah. You always felt so cool with those things. Unfortunately, smoking is bad for you, but it also looks really cool, so it's impossible to say whether it's bad or not. No, I'm kidding. But you can't deny it looks cool. That's the thing. That's the problem with it. Unfortunately, I played too many Like a Dragon games, and now I think smoking looks cool. You two are still too young, but one day you'll know what I mean. No, I can't encourage smoking. That's But I will agree, and I think we can all agree it looks cool. Look what happened to Kid. Oh, too soon, no. That happened to me after playing Disco Elysium. Yeah! Oh, I love that one. But enough sidetracking. What matters is that we met you again in pursuit of the smuggling ring. That's all. Okay, Faraday, let's talk about him. So, what was your relation to Mr. Faraday? You even seem to know Kay fairly well. I met him when he was a rookie prosecutor. Known him ever since. And Kay, I've known her since the day she was born. Faraday and we cracked quite a few cases together. But you two seem to have made no progress at all in the Yatagarasu case. Did we touch a nerve? I only have one thing to say to you. No one knew more about the Yatagarasu than me and Faraday. That's why I was called upon to testify in today's trial. You know what I think? I think the Yatagarasu is not just one person. I'm starting to feel that way. I feel like there's too many people who have come up as possibly the Yatagarasu, and none of them seem to fully match up. To prove that Rel was not the real Yatagarasu, which I would have done if he hadn't turned around and accused Faraday. After the accusation, I was asked to testify, but this time, to prove or disprove the accusation. But I guess I won't be doing that either. I sense that there's more to that statement than meets the eye. Will the real Yatagarasu? No, I am the Yatagarasu. Okay, fine, I admit it, I'm the Yatagarasu. Rip Yatagarasu, you would have been such a good Twitch streamer. Perhaps a bit more digging into the Yatagarasu is what's necessary. The real Yatagarasu is the friends we made along the way. So true. You claim to know much about the Yatagarasu. Would you care to share what you know with me? What you two should be looking for right now is proof of murderous intent towards Faraday and Rel. I agree, which is exactly why I am asking you about the Yatagarasu. What? The KG8 incident and this second KG8 incident, both of these cases are tied to the smuggling ring. And in both of these cases, the witness who was to testify about the ring was murdered. However, there is one point in which they differ, and that is the presence or absence of the great thief Yatagarasu. Mr. Rel claimed to be the Yatagarasu. However, in the middle of the trial, he suddenly declared Mr. Faraday to be the real Yatagarasu. Then, during the recess, they were both killed. Don't you find that to be the least bit odd? Miles Edgeworth, stop beating around the bush and just spit it out already. Dang, that's the most insightful thing you've said, Franzi. I believe that there must be some reason that the two men suspected of being the Yatagarasu were both killed at the same time. A reason, huh? And so, in order to catch Mr. Faraday's and Mr. Rel's cold-blooded killer, I feel that I need to learn as much as I can about the Yatagarasu. If it will help you solve this case, then I'll tell you. I'll tell you the reason why we never caught the Yatagarasu. What was that sudden outburst for? You almost made me whip you by accident. Okay, that one was definitely not by accident. Oh, it still accidentally whipped me anyway. There are 3 main reasons why the Yatagarasu will always be one step ahead. First, the Yatagarasu always knows the exact location of the target object. Second, the Yatagarasu always knows exactly how to disarm the security system. Third, the Yatagarasu doesn't leave a single shred of evidence behind, ever. I see. So those are the Yatagarasu's special traits. Sounds like an incredibly elusive thief. The Yatagarasu has never been caught on tape, never tries to draw anyone's attention, and would never do something as lowbrow as commit murder. That's how I knew that Rel wasn't the real Yatagarasu right away. But you can't use that sort of logic on its own to prove that he wasn't. Listen, little girl, I'm not done talking yet. What's different about this time was the evidence related to the smuggling ring was sent to the police. And the sender was none other than the one who infiltrated the Kodopian embassy, the Yatagarasu. The Yatagarasu sent the evidence? Till now, the Yatagarasu would always publicize any corrupt dealings through the mass media. But not this time. The evidence this time was something only Faraday and I, and a select few others knew about. In that case, how can you be so sure that it was the Yatagarasu who sent it? That's easy. The special card that only the Yatagarasu uses was attached. That's how I can be so sure. And just what sort of card is it? Here, take a look at this article. Whenever the Yatagarasu wants to publicize something, a white card is sent along with the stolen information. But when we questioned Rel about what was sent along with the white card, Rel had no idea what it was. And that's how Detective Bad knew that Mr. Rel was a phony. Thank you very much. I have a much better understanding of the Yatagarasu now. Huh. Excuse me, Mr. Edgeworth? Yes? His Honor would like to transfer the evidence from today's trial over to you. So if you could just please head over to the courtroom, it'd be much appreciated, sir. Understood. I'll be there shortly. Detective Bad, what does the law mean to you? Finding the answer to that question is the only reason I'm still alive. Damn! Thank you, Yatagarasu, a Hallmark original with a pop-up you shouldn't have. Yeah, it's even got one of those little chips in it so you can record a message and it sings happy birthday. So cool. I became a prosecutor to find the answer to that question myself. And to play a part in ensuring that all criminals everywhere are found guilty. Judge standing. Oh, it's you, Mr. Edgeworth. It appears that His Honor is still a bit dispirited. For the first time today, I experienced what it's like to stand at the witness stand. I now have a greater appreciation for just how hard it is to give testimony. Well, there's no reason for you to be all depressed about it, Your Honor. As a judge, no one expects you to think about anything other than the verdict. Francisca, there is no need to further depress His Honor. But I'm not trying to, Miles. Your Honor, I've come to collect the evidence that was to be transferred to me. Your Honor, the evidence? Your Honor? Oh! Yes, can I help you? Yeah. I'd like to collect the evidence now, sir. Your Honor, do you think you can stay focused long enough to at least do your job? Yes, I'm sorry. And I would accept that the defense attorney has yet to arrive. She is busy with the investigation, so let's keep this brief, shall we? Very well. In that case, please confirm that all the pieces of evidence are present. Furthermore, the evidence that was used in the murders of Mr. Faraday and Mr. Rell are also included, so please go ahead and use them in your investigation into their case. Understood, Your Honor. The pieces of evidence that were used in the murder of those two men. This could be a very good chance for me to find new leads regarding the case, and maybe even something that will finally lead me to the truth. I've placed all the evidence over at the prosecutor's bench for you. Okay, thanks. I will go and confirm that they are all accounted for. If I can get there. The collision's a little weird. So this is the evidence related to today's Cadopian Embassy trial from Mr. Faraday's bag. You mean the evidence bag that was on the table in lobby number 2, right? Yes. Finally, we can now take a look at the evidence itself and not just data about them. Let's be sure to thoroughly examine them when we have the time. Agreed. I want to take a good look at all the evidence from the embassy murder too. And why is that? Because I still don't fully understand what today's trial was about. Wah! Don't point your crop at me just because you don't know something. And don't you try to order me around just because Papa chose you today. I see someone is still sore about not being picked by Mr. Von Karma. It's also real to see the knife up close. So we have the knife, the gun, and an envelope. And what's this organizer doing here? Oh, that's right. I completely forgot to tell you. About what, Your Honor? They found Mr. Faraday's personal organizer inside that evidence bag of his. Detective Bad requested it be passed along to you. He said it would help the investigation. Detective Bad said that? What a strange stroke of luck. Well, never look a gift horse in the mouth. We might as well fit through too. I won't rest until I've inspected every suspicious-looking nook and cranny. Let's look at the organizer first. It appears he was in the habit of using it. It looks like he wrote his strategy for getting Mr. Rell convicted down in here. I collected the evidence I need to prove that Rell was the killer. Between the handgun Rell had on him when he was arrested and the surveillance tape, I should be able to prove that he was the one. The sound of his handgun going off was recorded with superb clarity on the surveillance video. I also have evidence that I could use to prove that Rell is not the real Yatagarasu. No matter how he may try to play it, as long as I have the Yatagarasu's key, I can prove he's a phony. The key? What is the key? If I present it to him in court, it should clear everything up. It's been a long battle. I hope that this will finally bring it to an end. Discredit any claim Mr. Rell may have had about being the real Yatagarasu. And he had a way to prove that Mr. Rell was the guilty party in the embassy murder. This organizer is a clue straight from Mr. Faraday. I'll have to take my time and give it a thorough read later. Okay. Look, there's a picture stuck between these pages here. It appears to be a key. That doesn't look like any key I've seen. Imagine you open up his little agenda. This wasn't or anything. Like, I'd love to not wash my hands. I've never washed my hands in a public bathroom, and I have no intention of doing so. Maybe that's what Mr. Rell was confronting him about. I saw you leave the washroom without washing your hands, Mr. Faraday. I can't let you leave until you do. And then they started fighting, and they both died. That was the whole case. Rather ornate one at that. Just look at the design on the handle. The craftsmanship is superb. Could this be the Yatagarasu's key Mr. Faraday mentioned in his organizer? The Yatagarasu's key? Detective Bad said something earlier. What's different about this time was that evidence related to the smuggling ring was sent to the police. And the sender was none other than the one who infiltrated the Cadopian embassy, the Yatagarasu. The Yatagarasu sent the evidence? Until now, the Yatagarasu would always publicize any corrupt dealings through the mass media. But not this time. The evidence this time was something only Faraday and I and a select few others knew about. Mr. Faraday must have been trying to keep this secret key safe. As the prosecutor on both the Yatagarasu and smuggling ring cases, that's to be expected. Wow. Okay, let's look at this knife. It's the knife that was used to kill Mr. Faraday. Who would have thought that such a beautiful piece of art could be used for such a cruel act? And it's never crossed your mind that you were using your riding cuff for the wrong purpose. That's odd. What is it? Mr. Faraday didn't mention anything about a knife in his organizer. That certainly is odd. The weapon that was used to kill the Cadobian Embassy staff member was the gun. But if that's the case, then where did the knife that was used to murder Mr. Faraday came from? Isn't it obvious? It was brought into the courthouse by Mr. Rell. That's the only logical conclusion, right? No, because it's not that easy to smuggle a weapon like that in here. Every person who enters the courthouse doors is checked thoroughly for contraband. Furthermore, the suspect was handcuffed, making it impossible for him to bring a knife as large as this inside. In that case, how do you suppose this knife ended up inside the courthouse? I need to think carefully here. There's nothing related to the knife written anywhere in Mr. Faraday's organizer. However, it is a fact that this knife came from Mr. Faraday's evidence bag. Conversely, there is one item listed in Mr. Faraday's organizer that no one has claimed to have seen today. So in order to solve this mystery, I believe I will need to take another good look at the evidence. Miles Edgeworth, can I take the fact that you have yet to answer me to mean that you don't have an answer for me? Actually, I do know the answer, Franziska. What? Then what is it? One of the pieces of evidence we've been holding has been hiding a secret of its own. Yeah, wait, what? Hang on. It was through this piece of evidence. Oh, wait, I was thinking the plastic bag, but like, does it has Faraday's blood on it, not necessarily in it, right? What? What? Am I stupid? Something that hasn't come up today. Okay, well, that did come up today. Well, it's asking me to select something, so it's got to be something in here, right? Right? Although this looks a whole lot like the knife, doesn't it? It could be like a you know, like a switchblade type deal. This this Yatagarasu's key Mr. Faraday mentions in his organizer. This is how the knife was brought into the courthouse. You're not making any sense, Miles Edgeworth. You just need to look a bit closer, Franziska, to see what I mean. I knew there was something up with that handle. I knew there was something up with that. Don't the color and ornamentation of the key's handle remind you of anything? They do remind me of the knife. Very good. Both the Yatagarasu's key in the photo and the murderous knife. I love how that implies the knife itself is murderous. Have this very unique design on their handles. Furthermore, even though Mr. Faraday mentions the Yatagarasu's key, the only object we found at the crime scene was the knife. You don't seriously mean to say? It appears that you finally caught up. And yes, I do mean to say that these two pieces are, in fact, one and the same. But that's impossible! Even if that is what you believe, we should still investigate this possibility. Now, then, let us examine this knife in a little more detail. It's gotta like open up. There's a certain way it opens. It's the weapon that was used to kill Mr. Faraday. The handle and the blade itself both have beautiful designs worked into them. Look, there's even a flower-shaped design in this gold section here. If this hadn't been used as a tool for murder, I'd want it for myself. What do you want with a knife, Francisca? She seems to be drawn to the embellishments. Too bad this isn't mine to give. Okay. Oh, hello. Can we yeah. Oh, hello. Oh, hello. What's that? Oh, yes. I can't believe I turned into a key. To think that there was such a trick to this thing. So the weapon used to kill Mr. Faraday is actually the key the Yatagarasu stole. This piece of information is more critical than anything we've learned up until now. Woo! Frankly, I'm shocked. Mr. Faraday only mentioned the key aspect, the key aspect of this piece of evidence in his organizer. It's possible that even he had no idea the key was hiding a knife blade inside. But if that's true, then only someone who knew about the key to knife trick could have killed Mr. Faraday. Even among law enforcement, this key was top secret. We're looking for someone who knew even more about the key than even Mr. Faraday. Meaning that the only person it could be is the one who sent the key in the first place. The great thief Yatagarasu. Oh, I've got it. The Yatagarasu is, in fact, the Yatagarasu. I got it now. So maybe Mr. Rel really was the Yatagarasu. And he was the one who killed Mr. Faraday. Isn't that one possible scenario? No, not really. Especially since Mr. Faraday was absolutely convinced that Mr. Rel was not the Yatagarasu. Besides, as Detective Baz said earlier, but when we questioned Rel about what was sent along with the white card, Rel had no idea what it was. I see. Alright then, I guess the person who knew the trick behind this key is someone else, and that person is the real Yatagarasu. Seems like this key is truly the key to solving this case. The key, haha, the key to solving the case, haha. I get it, key. And that's before we even get to the gun. This gun, it was originally used to kill the Cadopian embassy staff member. When the crime was reported, the responding police found Mr. Rel still holding it, which led to his immediate arrest. And then, this gun took the original shooter's life. How ironic. Indeed. There doesn't seem to be anything else we can learn from this piece of evidence. Okay, what about this envelope? I took a quick look through these documents before the trial started. Well, I wasn't afforded the opportunity to skim it. I suppose I should explain it to you. Yes, you should. Perfectly and in its entirety, if you please. On the night of September 8th, an embassy staff member was killed in front of the embassy. The staff member died of shock due to being shot in the heart. Mac Rel was brought in that night as a suspect and thoroughly questioned, because the murder weapon was found on him, for which he was arrested on the spot. A simpleton of a man, that's what he was. Perhaps he was, for the weapon wasn't the only incriminating evidence we had. Mr. Rel was caught in the act on film by a security camera. He was an even bigger simpleton than I thought. I can't believe he didn't notice the security camera. The Cadopian Embassy's security system is supposedly very well designed. He may have simply not been aware there was a camera in the area. So, have you seen the contents of the video? Damn. Yes, the surveillance video the security camera took was played during the trial by Mr. Faraday. You can clearly identify Mr. Rel on it. Even the sound of the gunshot was crystal clear. So the footage included sound, huh? I don't think I'd ever want to see the moment of someone's death in real life. Me neither. That's odd. We're short one piece of evidence. And the piece that's missing is the surveillance video that was played in court. The video? How could a piece of evidence just disappear? Where did it go? The video showing the moment in which Mr. Rel committed the murder. Where could it have gone indeed? Are you done with your inspection of the evidence? Yes, I'm finished. However, Your Honor, I am missing a single piece of prosecutorial evidence. Your Honor, were you derelict in your duties? What? No, I dare not lick my duties. What do you take me for? No, Your Honor, the most important piece of evidence in today's trial. The surveillance video is not amongst the evidence you laid out for me. Amongst the... But I brought Mr. Faraday's whole bag with me from the crime scene. Maybe the tape is still somewhere at the crime scene. There's something wrong here. Something about this missing piece of evidence. Magus! It would appear that for me to find the answers I seek, I will have to pay another visit to the scene of the crime, to defendant lobby number 2. This is case 4, actually. 4 or 5. This is the penultimate case. That's Detective Bad, but who is he with? Yeah, who's that? Is that another Wolfman? I've never seen that officer before. So did you find it? No, not yet, and I've looked everywhere. I see. Well then, please continue with the search. Understood. I'll continue the search. So you're the one running the show. Prosecutors like you shouldn't even be allowed at crime scenes. How dare you? Just who do you think you are? This is a flashback. Yeah, you're right. What was that all about? And who was that man just now? I know, it's so good. Whoever he was, I've never seen a more impudent officer in my life. Wow, he's even got bullet holes on the back of his jacket. Dang, he really got hit. He was really beset upon. Does he even know that we're standing right here behind him? I know you're standing right behind me. What do you want, kids? It looks like you were paying attention after all. Of course I was. I have eyes in the back of my head. Ah, so that mirror isn't for vanity's sake. It's for him to keep an eye on who or what is behind him at all times. So tell me, Detective Bad, who was that rude man just now? The guy came here from the Republic of Zhangfa to study. He's Agent Lang. He's trying everything he can to revive the lost honor of his family. He's traveling the world to study different philosophies of detainment from scratch. By visiting various police departments around the world, he has a lot of dedication. He's still just a rookie cop, but I sense a strong grudge of some sort from him. The guy's more useful than Gumshoe, even if he is rude. Well, he sure has a lot of guts to come to this country and give prosecutors a hard time. I agree, however, I can think of one young lady that statement also applies to. Anyway, what was that agent looking for, Detective Bad? Earlier, that little girl was poking around in lobby number 1 as well. Like I said before, it's got nothing to do with the two of you. Huh. I highly doubt that it has nothing to do with me. Fine, if this is the game I must play, then I will take the opportunity to draw out what he's been hiding, and what happened in the room straight from him. Okay. Are we impossible to exit or enter through the... Okay. I suppose you're right. Actually, that's not true. I bet a person of small stature could slip in. Francisco, would you care to help me test my theory? Drat, I must remember to be more tactful around the vertically challenged. Earlier, you were in lobby number 1, and now you're here in lobby number 2. Seems pretty suspicious. You are quite the busy man, Detective Bad. Multiple returns to a crime scene brings about success. That's what we detectives say. I see. In that case, you wouldn't mind if I asked about what happened again, correct? I don't have anything left to say to you, boy. Boy, you'll see. I will draw my answer from you, one way or another. Would it kill you to help us even a tiny bit in our investigation? I gave Faraday's notebook to the judge earlier. That's help enough, don't you think? Please, we are asking you for just a bit more of your cooperation. Don't push me, kid. Time of the murder. I'd like to ask once again about what happened around here at the time of the crime. I refuse to answer. Any more investigating you do would be a waste of time. Besides, how am I supposed to answer questions about things I don't know about? Also, Franziska's not short. She's just a child. She does grow. She still has growing to do. She'll be fine. Don't worry, Fancy. Things you don't know about, but aren't you? Yeah, both can be true. You're right. She can still be vertically challenged, even if she's not done growing. But aren't you supposed to know everything? He should. Wait, is it possible? Maybe he doesn't know about the trick behind that piece of evidence. I should try showing it to him. It may prove to be the key to getting some answers from Detective Bad. Oh, are we gonna present him the key? Or no, wait. Are we gonna use the actual one? I have two different things. I have the knife and I have the key. She only grows up to be 5'4". That seems weird. She's kind of, I feel like she's kind of tall person coded a little bit. Same as Athena. Honestly, they're both kind of like, I feel like the shots of characters next to each other are not always to scale. Because really? 5'4", really? Dang, too bad she really is vertically challenged. Yeah, we just see. Oh man. Did you know of the existence of the item in the photograph? Huh. Of course I did. It's my job to know everything related to the Yatagarasu case. Ah, there are heels. That's true, that's true. In that case, let me ask you something. Did you know that the knife that killed Mr. Faraday and this Yatagarasu's key are one and the same? What? That's impossible. It looks like he didn't know after all. This piece of evidence, which we call the Yatagarasu's key, is actually a well-camouflaged knife. Mr. Faraday was planning to use this Yatagarasu's key to prove that Mr. Well was not the real Yatagarasu. Isn't that correct? I guess so. However, Mr. Faraday had no idea that it was in fact a knife. Yeah, I have to admit, neither one of us knew that fact. And if neither of us knew, then no one in law enforcement knew either. How did we miss something as big as this? I noticed that since a little while ago, you appear to be searching for something. I presumed that this key was what you were searching for. Yeah, that's right. And why were you searching for it? Because I promised Faraday. I promised that I'd protect the key with my life. But after he was killed, the key disappeared from Faraday's evidence bag. Who would have thought that the key is what took Faraday's life? Detective Bad, so that we may find the truth, please, testify for me once more. Alright, but it doesn't matter how many times I tell you about what happened. Nothing will change. Okay, time of the murder? Detective Bad, I ask that you please testify once more about what happened in lobby number 2 and what you experienced in lobby number 1. My answer is still the same, and this is the last time I'm going to do this. That's fine, because I only need this one last time to clear everything up and find the truth behind the case. Whoosh! Detective Bad's movements. I was in lobby number 1, talking with you. We were talking about some trivial things. I heard the gunshot right before the trial was about to reconvene. When we heard it, you and I immediately dashed out the hallway together. They're so good, right? Real battle of the wits, real battle of logic in the marketplace of ideas, you know? I saw Gumshoe goofing around there, and then we all ran into lobby number 2. It sounds like the exact same story you told us before. Indeed. However, I feel that we have yet to draw out all of the information we can. Okay. So in lobby number 1, talking with you, we were talking about some trivial things. I heard the gunshot right before the trial was about to reconvene. Okay. But how much? That was definitely a point of contention. Until you heard the gunshot, did you notice anything else that was out of the ordinary? I didn't hear any other strange sounds until that gunshot. If the gunshot Detective Bad heard was really the one from the murder, that would give that other piece of evidence an entirely different meaning. I ask that you please amend your testimony with that statement just now. Sure. I didn't hear any other strange sounds until that gunshot. Ah! But we did establish something else that might sound like a gunshot, right? The balloon. Kay was running around with a balloon and she popped it to scare Gumshoe. And that happened right around the time the gunshot happened. Detective Bad, does this balloon fragment remind you of anything? It's the same color as the one Kay was holding. Oh, so you knew about that girl's balloon? Yeah, I was sitting with her up in the gallery. During the recess, just before we split up, I filled that balloon up for her. Well, as you may have already surmised, that piece did indeed come from Kay's balloon. So, what about the balloon? I wonder if you might remember hearing this balloon pop at some point. What are you getting at? This fragment was found in the hallway, right in front of lobby number 2. Furthermore, it was the sound of this balloon popping that the judge mistook as a gunshot. Oh, so the sounds that the judge heard was not actually a gunshot, huh? On top of that, His Honor said that he heard the balloon pop about 20 minutes before the trial was to reconvene. Yes, which means that His Honor heard the balloon pop in the hallway when you were in lobby number 1, Detective Bad. And if you were in lobby number 1 at the time, you were close enough that you should have heard the balloon popping as well. So? Well, don't give me a so. We just proved that there is a flaw in your testimony. The crackling of the truth is louder than the sound of your sweet naivete cracking. And since you kids don't seem to know, let me fill you in on something. Do you ever stop to think why Did you ever stop to think why the doors and walls of this place seem so rugged? That's because they were designed to keep secrets from being leaked. What is that supposed to mean? The doors and walls are super thick. The window panes are double layered. To top it all off, even the curtains are made of a special sound-absorbing material. Then, you mean... Since I was shut up inside lobby number 1, there was no way I could have heard the sound. No. I knew that's what he was going to say. Then that means that Scruffface's testimony is completely useless. If the rooms are soundproof, then of course he wouldn't hear any sign of a struggle. That's also why it's only natural that I didn't hear the balloon popping. Now do you get it, kids? Biles, I thought we were supposed to be the ones finding flaws in his logic, not the other way around. The other way around. Oh my god, chessboard thinking, we're flipping the chessboard. Woo, let's go. It's not possible to hear the sound of a balloon popping if one were in lobby 1. However, if we examine this situation in reverse, a person standing in the hallway should not be able to hear the real gunshot either. And yet, Detective Gumshoe claims to have heard it while he was standing in the hallway. Detective Bad, if that is the case, how exactly did you hear the gunshot? What do you mean how? I just did. It would appear that you have yet to realize the contradiction in your own words. Oh, how so? If the rooms are as soundproof as you say they are, then how did the sound of the gunshot enter your ears? I see what you mean. I guess I'm more out of it from Faraday's murder than I had thought. Which means what exactly, Miles? In the end, what does it all boil down to? It boils down to this. There must be a reason as to how Detectives Bad and Gumshoe heard a gunshot they theoretically couldn't have. It looks like we need to examine the state of the crime scene again, huh? The state of the crime scene? Wait, can it be? It's that ultra-strong perfume you wears. She spilled some of it. Oh. Wow! And way too noisy. The television. Oh my gosh, we're logic. We're slurping up so much logic right now. The surveillance video. How could a piece of evidence just disappear? Where did it go? Oh ho ho ho. Oh ho 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 ho. Hmm. Oh. The window was open. And that was spilled. Trying to air it out. Yes! It's simply not possible for the killer to have escaped through barred windows. And yet, the fragrance of the perfume managed to escape from defendant lobby number 1. Of course, incorporeal things can move freely but through these open, barred windows. Very loud television. Open windows. That would make it not soundproof, right? Wah! Now then, what else besides the smell can go both in and out of an open, barred window? The answer is sound. See, so no matter how careful the killer was, if the windows were open, the jigger would be up. And since the windows in both lobby number 1 and the hallway were open, that explains how the sound of a gunshot could be heard in both locations. Yo, that's hype. Gunshots could be heard. Ah, we're connecting these two. Okay, where did the surveillance see from Mr. Faraday's bag disappear off to? It was all a distraction. The missing piece of evidence is a video that shows the moment in which Mr. Rel killed the embassy staff member. The sound of the gunshot left quite an impression on me when it was played during the trial. The video should have been returned to Mr. Faraday's evidence bag for the recess and brought back here. If it disappeared after that time, then it's possible that the tape is still here in the room. Eureka! A guy who says Eureka. The evidence that the missing evidence created for me is the gunshot sound that no one should have been able to hear in the first place. Miles, what have you been thinking about? Stop wasting time thinking and let's start looking again. It's not a waste of time to think, for I have figured out where we should look. And where would that be? I believe we should examine the television. The TV? Well, you kids have fun. Go ahead and examine whatever you like. Okay, here we go. I won't rest until I've inspected every suspicious looking nook and cranny. Television. Detective Gumshoe touched this. It made a most terrible racket. You mean when Scruffy turned on the television? Actually, come to think of it, I don't think Detective Gumshoe actually touched the television at all. Furthermore, it seemed more like when a video feed suddenly stops. At least it did to me. I wonder why that is. The player? It's a video player, and there seems to be a videotape inside. Ooh! The tape must have stopped on its own when it reached the end. This tape, could it not be this missing surveillance tape? I suppose, but... Detective Bad, would it be alright for you if I verified the contents of this video? Sure, knock yourself out. Alright, then let's rewind this and see what we have. Be kind, rewind. If I remember correctly, the footage of Ralph killing the embassy staff member should be at about the 30-minute mark from the start of the tape. Understood. This should be about right. Now then, let's see. This is the footage of Mr. Ralph shooting the staff member. I knew it. The missing piece of evidence, the surveillance video, was here all along. Yeah. The sound. What's the meaning of this? It appears that Detective Bad has figured out the true source of the gunshot he heard. With this, I can think we can figure out the trick behind this double murder. Do you mean that you figured it out then? Yes, all I have to do now is show what the gunshot Detectives Bad and Gumshoe heard was, and through where they heard it from. Fine, in that case, show me what you deduced. Now, to show what the gunshot Detectives Bad and Gumshoe heard was. They heard the gunshot that was on the tape. They heard the gunshot that was on the tape. Whoa. Okay, so we're gonna deduce this. Yes. Let's get the tape out. Eureka! If the door and windows to this crime scene, namely this room that we're in, were closed, the killer could have used the gun and no one would have been the riser. That's true. This courthouse does seem to be well designed for such a thing, as it were. However, what happened in reality was Detective Gumshoe, Detective Bad, and Miss Yu, all three of them heard the gunshot. Well, the windows in lobby number 1, number 2, and the hallway were open. So, naturally, the people in those locations could hear it. Ah, but then, why would the criminal open the window in the first place? To allow the gunshot to be heard, I suppose. Correct. That's the only logical conclusion we can draw from this. But why was that necessary in the first place? I want a real answer, Miles. I demand satisfaction. Very well. I believe that the killer wanted to manipulate our perception of a certain fact. What was it that the killer wanted to manipulate our perception of? The murder. Oh, probably the murder weapon, right? Because if the murder happened with a, if the murder happened with a knife, or no, what? No, sorry, when the crime took place, because there was discrepancy in that. Yeah, my bad. The killer wanted to fabricate the time of death to their precise wishes, and they used the gunshot in the surveillance video to do so. So that's why the tape was left running. You mean the gunshot I heard was from this video? Yes, which means that the murders really occurred at an earlier time than we thought. It must have been during the recess, but before Detective Gumshoe was on guard duty. Someone who has no alibi for that time period and planned this crime out in advance. That person is the real killer. Yeah, I got healed. Oh, hi, Bailiff. Mr. Edgeworth. Yes, what is it? Miss Yu is asking for you. She's in the courtroom. She says that she's identified the murderer, but that she wants to clarify something. It looks like Miss Yu is still investigating something. Understood. Please tell her that I will be right over. I'll come along. I want to hear what she has to say. It would appear that the time has come to uncover the truth. Could be continued. Ah! Phew. That was a lot. That was a jam-packed little segment, wasn't it? Phew. I feel like it was good at getting us up to speed. Oh my god. Phew. All right, I'm gonna stretch a little bit. I'm not gonna go BRB, but I'm gonna rest my voice for a minute. Whew. That was a case, yeah. We haven't seen much of Gumshoe, but well, I guess we Gumshoe in the courtroom. Gum hot acquit the Gumshoe. You know. Thank you. I'm glad you understand. I can't explain my poetry often. Okay. I think I'm ready to start. As soon as I cough a little bit, you know. Okay. Save progress. Yeah. This is the final portion of this case. There she is. Oh my god, we're actually gonna be in court now. Oh, there you are. Unsupervised child. Kay, what are you doing here? Oh, hello, mister. I'm still investigating. But the object you're looking for has already... Howled it. Kay, don't mind him. Please continue with your investigation. Okay, you got it. Give me a moment here. Let's take Tylenol together. The last time I took it was like almost 10 hours ago, so I think I'm good to do it again. Actually lasted a lot longer than I expected. Didn't think I would. I haven't actually needed it until now. Not too bad. Haven't we already found what you were looking for? If it means I can keep her in the dark just a little longer. Excuse me. Yeah. I got this like... I think it's the same dose I usually get, but it's like rapid release. And it does seem to work a little faster. It's crazy how that works, but I'll take it. We take those. Oh, you're more sympathetic than I thought. Here we are. I've been waiting for you, Edgeworth. I've also been waiting for the moment in which we could finally lay this case to rest. The moment in which we can finally lay this case to rest. Wasn't that when we placed Detective Gumshoe under arrest? Oh my god, her laughing sprite is so good. I think we've more than solved this case already. Don't you? We'll see. It all depends on whether or not your logic holds. Oh, I see we even have a viewer in the gallery. And why even Mr. Bad is here. A viewer in the gallery? I'm hardly just a bystander. I have a duty to see this case through to the end, no matter how it turns out. Oh, is that right? Anyway, I thought you might like to hear what I've slaved away to find out. I've taken statements on every single person's movements during the time when our suspect was in the hallway. I also confirmed that there is no possible route of escape from lobby number 2. A closed room mystery? Oh, no, not quite. Therefore, the killer must be, without a doubt, Detective Gumshoe. And that's all you have? Yeah, that's all there is to my conclusion and this case. Sorry, but I beg to differ. In a trial, there is always time for a rebuttal, and we are standing in a court of law. It'd be more than appropriate to follow the rules of court in this case, don't you think? Absolutely, like a rookie to think such a thing. But, alright, I'll play along and give you a proper testimony. If my logic is correct, then I've already won. All I have to do now is prove it by showing who the real killer is. Yes! Misuse argument. Everyone, sans the suspect. Wait, sans? Has an alibi for when the gun went off. Furthermore, the areas around the crime scene have all been thoroughly investigated, right? I also confirm that there is no possible escape route from lobby number 2. Which leaves us with one unshakable conclusion, that Detective Gumshoe is the killer. Now that you have your testimony, sans! I expect a good rebuttal, Edgeworth. Burp, 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 burp. Huh. But of course, there is no need to confront her logic head on right now. Oh my gosh, it was Sans the whole time. He was the key to all this. I should instead focus on drawing out any trump cards she has up her sleeve. Okay. Everyone Sans the suspect. The suspect? But I thought that Detective Gumshoe's alibi has already been proven. Are you joking, Edgeworth? I assure you this is no joke. Look, I know you heard from the judge earlier that the detective was in the hallway with Mr. Faraday's daughter eating a Swiss roll. Yes, that is correct. But see, that was 20 minutes before the real gunshot went off, right? Oh, she doesn't know. She doesn't know. She doesn't know. She is lacking critical information. Me when I'm withholding critical information that I know the other party doesn't know. And the problem is, there's no one else who can corroborate what he did since the snacking. I see she's done her research well. Which means that I should focus on drawing out whatever trump card she's withholding. Yeah, he's really destroying it in the marketplace of ideas. Did I say that already? It's fine. It's funny anyway. Whether they have been thoroughly investigated or not is for me to decide. The scrunched eyebrows and lines on your forehead are back. Anyway, even if you believe it hasn't been exhaustive, the crime scene, lobby number 2, has no way out other than the hallway Detective Gumshoe is standing in. And because he claimed to be there, that makes him the only possible suspect. But isn't it possible that someone escaped through a window and into the garden? That's the first place everyone looked, silly. The police aren't a bunch of lazy bums. They looked into every possibility, you know. Oh, of course they did. Yeah, I'm sure that. Yeah, cops always do their job properly. Yep. Isn't that right, Mr. Bad? Yeah. There wasn't a scrap of evidence to suggest someone used one of the windows. There also weren't any footprints or anything in the courtyard garden. I suppose they really did check everything that could be relevant to the case. Let's confirm that there is no possible escape route from lobby number 2. Are you absolutely positive that there are no possible routes of escape? Of course I'm sure. And why are you so certain? This is a courthouse, the place where criminals are brought to be judged. If there were an escape route, I'm sure every criminal would be using it to escape. Oh wow, that's pretty bulletproof logic. It's just common sense. Miles, Edgeworth, I suggest you use a bit more of it in the future. Which leaves us with one unshakable conclusion, that Detective Gumshoe is the killer. You may think it's unshakable, but to me there are too many unanswered questions. For example, who was it that placed the gun in Mr. Faraday's hand? But you're the only one still wondering that. Detective Gumshoe probably had no idea which hand Mr. Faraday used to write with. Even if you know someone, it doesn't mean you'll know which hand they write with, right? I mean, I certainly don't care about that sort of thing. I'm not about to let her get a rise out of me with such a flippant statement. I suppose we've really reached the end now. I already have my trump card ready. All that remains is to play it. But before I do, I think I should inquire into a little something about her argument. You said earlier that you confirmed the alibis of every person other than the suspect. However, I don't recall either Franziska or myself speaking with you about the subject. Ah, but there were witnesses. For you, there is your mentor who gave you an alibi. I see. As for the little missy, she came to the courthouse during the recess. It was stopped by a security guard at the door to the hallway. She gave him quite a whipping for that, or so I heard. I'm the daughter of Manfred von Karma, and I will not be forcibly stopped by a guard, or a bailiff, or anyone else. Wait, so basically the only reason Franziska bothered to show up today was because she found out that I was to be the replacement prosecutor? By the way, Miss Yu, what about everyone's alibis before Detective Gumshoe was assigned to guard duty? What about them? Have you looked into what people were doing during that span of time? What kind of idiot do you take me for? It doesn't matter when the killer went into lobby number 2. From the time we heard the gunshot, to the time Mr. Bad and I arrived on the scene as we dashed from lobby number 1, The only person who could have committed the crime was Detective Gumshoe. Yes, let's talk about when you and Detective Bad heard that gunshot, shall we? I suppose that if we go by your logic, then Detective Gumshoe is the only one. However, what if the crime had occurred at an entirely different time than when that gunshot you heard went off? What then? That gunshot was a trap meant to manipulate our perception of when the crime took place. Sadly, your explanation is very lacking, Edgeworth. The gunshot we heard in lobby number 1. Care to explain how that could have been fabricated? Tape. That tape. Yeah. Yes, it's exactly what you think it is. This is the surveillance tape of Mr. Rell, the prosecutor presented in today's trial. This was found loaded in the video player in lobby number 2. That was connected to the large television that had its volume turned all the way up. You can't honestly mean that the sound we heard in the gunshot was the video. Nervously applies makeup is a good about. Yeah. Yeah, that would be good. I wonder if there's any miss you emotes on 7TV. But I do, which leads me to my next point. The murders occurred much earlier than when anyone heard the gunshot. Oh, I love this sprite. It's very cute. I love her. Wait, why is he on the other side of the stand now? That's the only thing I can think of, too. After committing double homicide, the killer took the surveillance video out of Mr. Faraday's evidence bag. She's perfect, honestly. Turned the volume all the way up and left the video to play. If played from the beginning, it would take 30 minutes for the gunshot sound to come on. And since we now know that this method of time manipulation is possible, it opens up the possibility that the killer is someone other than Detective Gumshoe. I'm not gonna sugarcoat it. Objection. Sounds from a television doesn't amount to much here. But, of course, Mr. Prosecutor Edgeworth and Little Miss Von Karma already knew that much from the very beginning, right? Of course we knew. Didn't we, Miles? Yes, of course. We knew about the soundproof quality of this courthouse's rooms. Of course, I'm not about to admit we had no idea until only a little while ago. That's right, and if the rooms are soundproof, then we should not have been able to hear it. And yet, we heard the gunshot clear as day. And that's it, end of story. But it's not. How should I explain why she was able to hear a gunshot from a soundproof room? Well, I mean, the window was open, that's the fact, right? There is actually one common point between lobby number 1 and lobby number 2. And it is that despite the fact that both rooms have air conditioners installed, a window was open in each. Now, we know that the window in lobby number 2 was opened by the killer. However, a window in lobby number 1 was also opened. It's probably just coincidence that they were both open at the time. It was no mere coincidence, I assure you. Why was the window open in lobby number 1? The answer is that a certain person did something to cause the window to be opened. And the person who triggered that action, that person is the real guilty party. The real killer in this double murder is... Dang, we're really just going for it, huh? We're just gonna go for it, huh? It was her. Valkara, yeah. I can believe that one, though. Miss Callisto, you. I hereby formally indict you of the murder of Mr. Faraday and Mr. Rell. What? You indict me? Oh my god, the lipstick smear. Ah! What a woman. Are you serious, Miles? Why do you think she's the killer? I don't understand her motive just yet, but of course I'm serious. Because she is the only one who could have done it. Well, Miss Yu, do you still feel like laughing now? Ha ha. Of course I do, Edgeworth. My argument must not be tight enough yet. Although I never thought things would spiral into this. But I'll have you know I'm enjoying this dance quite a bit. I guess this means it's time for my own rebuttal now, right? Yeah, I could think of a few things. You argue that the window was opened. However, do you have any proof that it was I who did that? Furthermore, do you have proof that the tape was used in committing the crime? Frankly, I'm shocked at you for going around accusing people of murder like this. Especially with logic as full of holes as yours. That is not a testimony. This is where it really starts. The culprit is you! I mustn't let my guard down for even a second, or the truth will blow away. Now is the time to put the patented Von Karma perfect proof to the test. Okay. You argue that the window's open, however, do you have any proof it was I who did that? We do! Because you spilled the perfume. Intentionally. Yeah, he would. I miss Phoenix. I'm sure you haven't seen this before. I'm sure you've seen this before, haven't you, Miss You? Edgeworth, I never knew you were into wearing that kind of perfume. It's not exactly what I'd recommend for boys, you know. Well, this isn't mine. That's right, it's mine, and I received it from Detective Bad, you see. Miss you can pretend all you like, but we know at least this much for sure. That this bottle of perfume was given to Detective Bad by you. Because it gets really strong really fast. So, what about the perfume? While you were in lobby number 1, you made a big show of spilling some of this perfume. That's according to Detective Bad. Oh, I know. You also knew that if you spilled it, he would naturally move to open a window. Come now, I've already told you that's all just a big coincidence. After we opened the window in lobby number 1, I just left it open, you know? So maybe it was just dumb luck that we heard the gunshot through the window. The timing of when you were going to spill the perfume is something you could control. And the most important fact about this case is when people were made to hear the shot. Yeah, she's voiced. Franziska is not, weirdly enough, but she is. Furthermore, it would have been pointless if you didn't have an alibi for yourself at the time. You mean... Miss you were the one who called Detective Bad into lobby number 1, when you saw him bring Detective Gumshoe into the hallway. Is that correct? All of today's premeditated events could have only been thought of by you, Miss You. You accuse me of murder on the fact that I spilled a little perfume. Well, allow me to say this much. I couldn't have killed Mr. Faraday. Would you care to testify as to why? Look, I've really had a lot of fun today, really. But I grow weary of this game of cat and mouse. Uh-oh, she's starting to talk like an anime villain now. That's not a good sign. Let's make this the last testimony and wrap up this absurd case once and for all. Cleanliness next to godliness, so if you is messy, then she must be a devil. You're right, I can't argue with that logic. Why it couldn't be me? Because I'm way too cute and funny and silly, of course. Accusing someone of murder over a spilled bottle of perfume is a bit over the top. But I suppose forgery of evidence is to be expected of a disciple of Von Karma. Boom! Got him! In any case, it simply could not have been me who killed Mr. Faraday. After all, I don't even know where the knife that was used to kill him came from. Thank you. Miles, her testimony is flawless. Yes, but no matter what sort of trick she may try to pull, she won't escape me. And if I'm lacking in information, I'll just draw it out of her. Accusing someone of murder over a spilled bottle of perfume is a bit over the top. I think I already explained the significance of that earlier. You only confirmed that I did spill some perfume, but that's all. That you would accuse me of murder based on a simple spill. Don't you dare complain when I sue you for defamation of character. Do as you like, but as for me, I believe. You believe. I believe that you are the true culprit in this case. My, you're enthusiastic. Of course, I should have guessed. But I suppose forgery of evidence is to be expected of a disciple of Von Karma. I formally request that you desist in your attack against my mentor. Yes, or we'll sue you for defamation. All I'm doing is telling the truth. Well, maybe more like spreading gossip. Although your adamant denials are, shall we say, just adding fuel to the fire. How dare you say such a thing? Calm down, little girl. Don't let her get to you. Why did you have to ruin my fun? Well, shall I continue? In any case, it simply could not have been me who killed Mr. Faraday. And why exactly could you not have killed him? I was just about to testify to that. You're such an impatient man. That's a good time to end to describe why I just love Yu's visual design. The scale earrings, and most innovations focusing on hero climbing. All these things to basically say she's put on this facade of caring about the law and looking the part and is very committed to doing so, but her real self just slips through and she laughs at everything. Let me laugh at the cool being her theme name is just the cherry on top. Wait, that's really good actually. I love that. Very good insight. She just really the horrors are indescribable, but you must say silly. You must say silly. You're such an impatient man. I'm not really into that, you know, Edgeworth. Your preferences have no bearing on what is at hand. Feeling a little uncomfortable, are we? Law's play. Yeah, that's a good way to put it. Miss Yu, you will desist this tomfoolery and return to your testimony. And Miles, if you're going to lose your cool, then I won't show you any mercy. Yeah, I thought he was gonna say something like, I'm not even into women, so chill out. Sorry, Miss Yu, please continue with your testimony. Sure. As I was saying, I couldn't have possibly killed Mr. Faraday. After all, I don't even know where the knife that was used to kill him came from. Oh. At this rate, she will inevitably escape. But if she really was the one who killed Mr. Faraday, then she must have known about the existence of the knife. I'm sorry, Miss Yu. Maybe you weren't aware. However, the knife that was used to kill Mr. Faraday was taken from his evidence bag. Miles, what do you think you're doing? I'm drawing the truth out of her. That's what I'm doing. Huh? But I don't recall a knife being presented at the trial earlier today. Well, I suppose that's because the evidence was something Mr. Faraday had yet to use. Ah, so that's what you're trying to do. Look, why don't you cut it out with the lies? I've already figured it out. There was no knife inside Mr. Faraday's evidence bag. She doesn't have crucial information. Yeah. I'm absolutely slam dunking her all over this courtroom. The only evidence he had yet to present was the key the Yatagarasu had sent. And unless the key can magically turn into a knife. Oh my god. You really don't have a leg to stand on. Did you really think you could trap me? Come now, be honest. I never intended to do such a thing. It was all a misunderstanding on my part. In any case, I wonder if you might append what you just said to your testimony? Sure, why not? I'll even say it as many times as you like. There was a key in his evidence bag, but you can't kill anyone with a simple key. Ba-na-na-na-na, bow, 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 ba-na-na-na-na, ba-na-na-na, bow, 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 ba-na-na-na-na, robot rock, ba-na-na-na. I wonder if you might take a look at this photo for me. This is so good. This is a really good case. Really, really good case. This is a picture of the key the Yatagarasu sent to the police. However, while it may look like a key at first glance, it, in fact, has the secret ability to transform into a knife. which means that what was inside of Mr. Faraday's bag was both the Yatagarasu's key and the murderous knife. You knew that the key was inside Mr. Faraday's bag, did you not? Yes. Well, with the Yatagarasu's key alone, it's more than possible to kill Mr. Faraday. Do you understand now? Just knowing the existence of the Yatagarasu's key. Huh? Are we gonna get a meltdown soon? I still haven't had a good look at it. Showing it to me from that far away, you could be lying for all I know. Oh, I see. Okay, I see. Yeah, a lot of people, basically, yeah, that's basically what I hear a lot of. Basically, this is like the best Ace Attorney game that nobody played. I'm tempted to agree. Like, how did nobody play this? Maybe it's just, maybe, you know, I don't know, just marketing. Things can happen. You would, even now, still feign ignorance. I'm not feigning anything. But we can't have you accusing me of a crime with false evidence, now can we? I mean, Mr. Von Karma, I've heard some very interesting rumors about him. Are you mocking my papa? Don't you dare sully the good name of my mentor. He doesn't need to, yeah, it doesn't, he can sully his own good name all on his own. Yeah. Yeah, I'm possibly open to doing investigations too. Late era DS, yeah. This is on the Android version though. It looks really clean. I'm actually really happy with this version. This piece of evidence is more than real. Wow, who knew there was such a trick to this thing? Are you satisfied now? But, of course, you knew from the very beginning, didn't you? I disagree with this game. I think the pacing is pretty bad in this one, though I do love it. I think the second investigation game is definitely one of the best ones, though. Okay, fair enough. Yeah, I can definitely see what you mean about the pacing. I feel like they set up good pacing and then didn't really use it. Like, the whole chapter system is a little bit weird, because they'll do, like, the middle one, end two. You know, like, end 2, end 1. Middle 1, middle 2. It's weird. I don't know. I always thought that was weird. Yeah. Yeah, Capcom. At least, I mean, I guess it's not like we're getting nothing, right? We got Great Ace Attorney back in 2021, which I love. I love Great Ace Attorney. I love Great Ace Attorney. It's so good. And we just got the Apollo trilogy as well. So it's not like they've abandoned it, but yeah, they're getting better. But they've made some very questionable decisions. Gosh, anyone remember like early 2010s Capcom? Well, actually, that's when Apollo Trilogy was coming out, early 2010s. But they were doing some other crazy stuff at that time too. You knew from the very beginning, didn't you? You knew that the knife and the Yatagarasu's key are one and the same. Otherwise, someone like you, who isn't a member of law enforcement, and who would never have been privy to this trick, would never have known about it to begin with. Oh, she's doing her makeup faster now. You see that? Furthermore, the something that the Yatagarasu sent to the police. How did you have knowledge as to what it was? Actually, I heard it from Mr. Faraday. Just before he dragged Mr. Rell off, he told me. Oh, that's right, I almost forgot. He also told me about the key turning into a knife at that time. Oh, that's very convenient. But he didn't tell me about how the key actually transforms. What you are saying is simply not possible. Oh, and why not? Because Mr. Faraday himself didn't know about the hidden knife within the key. For within these pages, he mentions nothing about a knife. I'm not sure he would have written everything in his organizer, you know. Wouldn't something of this importance be better left to oral communication? Unfortunately, that is also impossible. Because Detective Bad didn't know about the knife aspect either. What would have been highly classified information, even within the police force, and is something that even the lead detective on the case didn't know. Why would Mr. Faraday have felt the need to share such information with the opposition? He told me stuff right before he died. He also told me, by the way, it's impossible for you to kill me. You are completely innocent. Also, your brain is huge and other sucks. He totes said that. Yeah. Yeah, he was straight up yapping in the moments before his life ended. He was straight up yapping. Yeah, I guess he wouldn't have much of a reason to. Looks like I gave a pretty lame excuse, huh? How can you laugh at a time like this? She probably just realized the flaw in her logic and is actually in a panic over it. But that's not something we need to concern ourselves with. I suppose you're right. Monsieur, I'd like to state that I also know how you know the real nature of the knife. Do you now? Well, why don't you put your money where your mouth is and show me? Oh, I will, and I'll wipe that smile off your face by the time we're through. This is it, the moment of truth. The secret behind the Yatakarasu's key. Only one person would have known knowledge of it from the get-go. Who would know from the start that the Yatakarasu's key could change into the knife? Probably the Yatagarasu. There's only one person who would have known about it. And that is... I won't, and I'll put a smile on that face. And that is the person who sent the Yatagarasu's key to the police. That is to say, the Yatagarasu herself. And bald. Are you saying that this lawyer is the great thief Yatagarasu? Monsieur, you used Mr. Rel to lure Mr. Faraday into a trap, didn't you? You, who profess to bear a grudge against criminals, why? Why do something like this? Yata gotcha! Oh gosh, no. That's her meltdown. Dang, that's kind of unsettling, actually. Who would have thought that you, stupid rookie prosecutor, would see through me? You're sending the biggest chill down my spine right now, Edgeworth. This feeling of thrill. All right, It's even greater than when I sneak into someplace. You killed Faraday. Why? Answer me, Callisto, you. Callisto, you, huh? That's not my real name. Because my real identity is, yes, the great thief Yatagarasu. Let me tell you something, Edgeworth. Mr. Faraday was one difficult man to deal with. For you see, he had discovered my true identity, which is why I had to erase him from the world of law. I made Rel an offer, an acquittal for a little favor in return. All he had to do was accuse Mr. Faraday of being the Yatagarasu in court. But once we entered recess, Rel was dragged off by Mr. Faraday, which threw my plan into a complete mess. Yeah, can you imagine? That's what. Yeah. First name Great Thief, last name Yatagarasu. I chased after them and eavesdropped on them through a crack in the door. That Rel caves to only two things, money and authority, just as all thugs do. I feared my plan was going to be ruined if Mr. Faraday held onto Rel any longer. Plus, if I had let them continue on the way they were, I would have been found out. That's why I had no choice. I had to kill them both. But didn't you say that you despised criminals? But do I really? You. Have you forgotten about the KG8 incident too? Maybe. What sort of woman would... So then, it was your plan to kill Mr. Faraday with the evidence that you sent? Yatagarasu, great thief. Well, I had a good idea of what Mr. Faraday was going to do. I anticipated that Mr. Faraday was going to prove that Rel wasn't the Yatagarasu. By using this Yatagarasu's key as evidence, and that he would bring it with him. Which is why I thought to use the knife portion. With a weapon as well as disguised as this, no one would be the wiser. Because who in their right mind would think something like this could be a weapon? I casually entered lobby number 2 on the pretext that I had to talk with Mr. Faraday. And in order to get in with him, I pretended to be worried about something. He then let me hold the Yatagarasu's key, just like that. He never noticed that I changed the key into a knife inside that plastic bag. And he didn't have the chance to take note of the knife that took his life. How could you kill him? I knew him for a long time, you know. At the very least, I thought to give him a quick and painless death. But if you killed Mr. Faraday first, there was no need for you to kill Mr. Rell as well. I believe I mentioned why when we were placing Detective Gumshoe under arrest. Something about having accidentally created an eyewitness. And how that led the killer to think about setting them up as though they killed each other. Then the trick with the surveillance tape. Yes, I hadn't actually planned to use a gun. The risk was too high that I'd be caught. However, that's when I remembered the existence of that surveillance tape. Which is why I had Rel help me set up the crime scene. And after all was said and done, I rewarded him for all his hard work with a bullet. You're a defense attorney, aren't you? How could you betray a client? His name was Mackerel. Yeah, he deserved to die for that. No, I'm kidding. He doesn't deserve to die for that. I'm kidding. Client. If you want to talk about who was a client of whose first, it was me. I was the client in the murder of the Cadopian Embassy staff member, Deadman. You ordered a hit job? You still haven't figured it out, Mr. Bad? I had Deadman killed because he was about to give away info about the smuggling ring. Now, who exactly do you think would benefit from such an assassination? It can't be. You're... That's right. I'm a member of the smuggling ring. What? How could this... You don't mean... You're working with Manny Cochin too, do you? Well, that part I probably could have figured out. Maybe, maybe not. Guess you'll never know. The Yatakarasu claims to be noble, but you're just another cold-blooded murderer. That's right, little girl. The Yatakarasu is just another killer. Be quiet, you. Yatakarasu, you can run from the law, but you'll never escape it. So just humbly accept the judgment of this court. Haha. Hey, Edgeworth, did you know the Yatakarasu has 3 legs? Do you know why that is? No? Well, let me tell you. It means that the Yatakarasu has more than one razor-sharp way to do her work. Oh my god, no! Is that the first time a gun has been pulled in court? I think it might be. You really are too naive, Edgeworth. You even handed the Yatagarasu's key right to me without a second thought. Everything may not have gone according to plan, but I'll still gladly take it. Callisto's got the gun! You mean, the key was your real target? And even after I gave you such great advice, didn't I tell you to always keep a good eye on a criminal? Or you may regret what comes of your negligence. You two, get down! You's got the gun. Ah! My body, I can't move. Hey, mister, to your right! You! Whoa, no, Miles. Oh, he's okay. Are you alright, Francisca? I'm perfectly fine, Miles. Her voice is shaking, but it looks like she's unharmed. Oh, where did Kay go? That's a gunshot! Huh? What? What? Sorry, but it looks like she got away. I called the precinct. They should have a perimeter set up soon. Detective Bad, are you alright? I heard a gunshot. I'm okay. Just got another hole in my jacket. Damn, that's lucky. He may say he's fine, but he looks quite shaken. But more importantly, boy, I mean Mr. Edgeworth, Miss Von Karma. Are you too hurt? I'm absolutely fine. I'm also alright, thanks to Kay. Speaking of Kay, where is she? I don't know. She just sort of disappeared. I'll go look for her. Oh, and, hey, Detective Gumshoe. Yes, sir? Detective Bat, sir? I'm sorry I doubted you. Don't worry, sir. It's not your fault. Well, I lied to you guys too, after all. I heard about what happened from Kay. Lying while giving testimony is still unforgivable. But in this case, you are protecting Kay and her feelings. Looks like you just might have what it takes to be a real detective. Now don't you ever lose that detective spirit, okay? You got it, Pops. Pops? Watched one too many detective dramas recently, have we? Way to single-handedly destroy the cheery atmosphere with one snarky comment. I should get back to the investigation. I swear I'll catch you if it's the last thing I do. Be careful, Detective Bad, and take care. Thanks. Well, I'm off. Maybe we'll run into each other again someday. See ya, Space Detective. I know, right? Only the code is different. I love it. Thanks a bunch, pal. You're the best. Wait, hang on. We don't have switch tabs. Oh, we do have profiles. I just didn't know how to get to it. How old is he here? 26. Okay, that makes some sense, I guess. You're the best. You really did find out the truth behind everything. Yes, well, I'm glad we solved everything before you were taken to prison. Aww. I can't believe how much trouble I caused you with my testimony, Detective Gumshoe. It was no problem, really. I mean, I lied too, so I didn't help anything. It's really not your fault, Your Honor. Well, even if we didn't have His Honor's testimony, I think that lawyer would have found another way to get you convicted on her behalf. Yeah, I can't believe I was about to get fired during my first week as a detective. Well, so long as you're not fired, you should work hard, give it all you have, and perform your duties well. Oh, and one more thing. Kay left a present for you with me. She did? Oh, what is it? What was it that Kay left for me? The proof of their friendship. Oh, the Swiss roll. Take that. Tosses a Swiss roll at you. It's a courthouse special Swiss roll. Can I really have it? Yes, it's a present meant for you after all. Thanks a bunch. You have no idea how happy this makes me, pal. Ace is here in a game where Phoenix and Edgeworth are middle-aged, but Gumshoe still looks exactly the same. He's literally never gonna age. He's gonna turn 60 and he's immediately gonna get a couple of gray hairs, but that's it. I'm gonna eat this right now. Sure, go ahead. The Swiss rolls Detective Gumshoe and Kay bought together. While the one Kay saved never reached her father. It would appear that her sentiments have touched the heart of this detective. He's so happy, as though he's having a welcome back celebration of his own. Well, I was asked by Kay to give it to him. Whoop, that was good, pal. I can't believe I got to eat 2 of these delicious things in one day. It's like I'm in Swiss roll paradise or something. I've got to thank Kay myself. Hey, wait, where is she? He only noticed just now? Was his mind not present when we discussed her earlier? Detective Bad left to go search for her earlier. Maybe you should go join him. Yeah, you betcha, pal. I'm gonna go help him. Oh, but first, you know what, pal? Actually, I guess I shouldn't be so rude to you anymore, huh? I'm gonna stick right by your side from now on, Mr. Edgeworth, sir. Oh, this is a very cute CG. I sense nothing but a most troublesome relationship from that ominous statement. We should go home too, Miles. We have to hurry and report what has happened to Papa. Agreed. Well, I'm afraid we must be going now, Detective. Roger, sir, and don't you worry, I'll investigate the next case we're on real well. I'll, be counting on you. The scent of trouble is definitely in the air. Thus, like a bad dream, my first outing at court came to a disturbing end. A few months later, I was finally able to properly stand in court as a prosecutor. But the detective in charge of the investigation was, as I dreaded, Detective Gumshoe. After that, he became my direct subordinate. I have tried, but words fail to describe the immeasurable suffering he has caused me. But I suppose that's just how things are. As for the little girl who suddenly disappeared, she's now... Oh my god, we're still here at Gatewater World. We've just been standing here the whole time. That's so good. So, do you remember now? Oh my gosh, you grew up so fast, Kay. You're not baby mode anymore. The witness was a horror. It was a whole thing. Let's never speak of it. Yeah, let's never talk about this again. Yes, I remember everything. Kay, it's been a while. Kay, you sure grew up a lot. Of course, but thank goodness. I thought you two had totally forgotten about me. You know, I was really worried about you after all that. Where have you been all this time? Yeah, literally. Gummy, I didn't know you cared. I know, she's very cute. After my father died, I went to go live with my mother's relatives. They lived really far away, so I wasn't really able to come back down here all that much. Oh, is that what happened? Well, I'm just glad you're alright. So, does it all make sense now? You betcha it does. Oh, you know what? I was gonna throw my father's bookshelves recently, and... Actually, there are still a number of things that don't make sense, Kay. Huh? First of all, why did you come all this way to see me? And second, why are you calling yourself the Yatagarasu? The Yatagarasu is Callisto Yu, the woman who killed your father. No, you're wrong. The real Yatagarasu was my father. What? Mr. Faraday was the Yatagarasu? Like I said, I was going through my father's bookshelf recently, and I found a secret diary hidden among his books. I have no regrets choosing to walk the path of the Yatagarasu. That was written in his diary, and that's how I know for sure. But that's impossible. What's with that look? You don't believe me? It wasn't just the expression on my face. I clearly said it was impossible just now. Alright then, how do you explain this? Cell phone. It's a way of disarming any security system of the user's choosing. Yep, that's Little Thief. Truth be told, this is the Yatagarasu's greatest secret. And this little gizmo was used by my father. Wow, Mr. Faraday wasn't just a great prosecutor. He was a really great thief, huh? Yeah, my father worked really hard to steal the truth. But he was killed. And the Yatagarasu was no more. But despite that, the Yatagarasu has been spotted again recently. Someone other than you? Here, Mr. Edgeworth. Take a look at this article. Sends card to embassy. The Yatagarasu sent the embassy a calling card. Yeah, meaning this person's a fake. I'm almost certain that Callisto Yu lady is behind this. Because the real Yatagarasu would never send something like a gaudy card out. But the Yatagarasu did send a white card along with anything to be publicized. That's what Detective Bat told me 7 years ago, if memory serves. Well, as soon as I heard the news, I got all wound up, and I knew I just couldn't let it go. So I searched you out, so that I could attain the truth behind the Yatagarasu. Because if anyone could help me, I figured it's you, Mr. Edgeworth. So you're saying that I have your father's and Miss Yu's identities backwards? Yes, because the real Yatagarasu is noble to the end. And I want to revive the real, noble Yatagarasu. If I don't, my father will never be able to rest in peace. Kay, you're so honorable. I don't care what anyone else thinks. I'll always be here to cheer you on, pal. Even if you are honorable, a thief is a thief. If you are plotting to commit a crime, then I'm afraid I can't be complicit. Mr. Edgeworth, Oh, can't you just let her do one crime as a treat? Just a couple of little crimes. Hi, Fox. Use the nightstick. God. You guys are not making it easy for me. Who am I supposed to support now? Mr. Edgeworth, what I want from you is not to steal something. What I want is the arrest of that evil woman. That evil woman? You mean Callisto Yu? I think it's too hard for me to catch her all by myself. But I thought that since you were able to expose her for who she is, then maybe... Please, Mr. Edgeworth, won't you help me? Come to think of it, I do believe I owe you. Huh? Owe me for what? When Miss Yu made her escape, it was you who saved my life. Furthermore, you helped with the investigation today. I am not so rude as to leave favors unrepaid. Then you mean... Yes. That case has been weighing down my soul ever since that fateful day. Perhaps the time has come to settle things once and for all. If you don't intend to sully your hands in a crime, then I believe I can help you. Mr. Edgeworth, thank you. Yay, Mr. Edgeworth, sir! Isn't that great, Kay? Yeah, it sure is, Gummy. Even though he had completely forgotten about her until just now. Oh, what is with their chummy relationship? The great thief Yatagarasu. After all that time, the true identity of the thief sank back into the darkness. Burn Faraday, Callisto Yu, and Kay Faraday. The phantasmagorically changing identity of the great thief Yatagarasu. And the Yatagarasu's real goal. It would all come to light the day after I made that promise to Kay. There you go. That's Turnabout Reminiscence. Let's go, dude. We got one more case. Turnabout ablaze it. Let's go, dude. Holy crap. That was a lot, wasn't it? What a great case, honestly. That was the best case so far, I think. Phantasmagorically. I do like that word, though. Yeah, he's definitely the type of guy to read a thesaurus for fun. Honestly. Oh, man. Fun times, fun times. That was good. We got one more case. I can't believe it. Ah! And I'm sure it's going to focus very strongly on Kay, considering... Well, we had Gummy here, and now we have Kay on this one. Remember when I first saw this, and I was like, what's her deal? Who's she? Who's this? I think the final case is my personal favorite in this game. It does a lot of cool things that I really enjoy. Like, it just panders to me. Cool. Also, look carefully in that background poster. What am I looking at? Some kind of... There's someone in it? Where are you seeing that? It looks like some kind of sign? A shoulder. Huh. Yeah, I don't know. I don't see it. I guess it's very cleverly hidden, huh? I'm glad you're excited. I'm really glad. Ooh, my voice is shot though. I'm gonna have to rest my voice now, unfortunately. I'm gonna have to go rest my voice, I think. I'm all about it. I was doing things all of today and using my voice a lot, so yeah, 2 hours of that. Definitely. Yeah, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, voice. Hydrated rest. Yeah, I'm pretty hydrated, but I definitely need to rest. It was a long day. Thank you. It was good to see you again, chickens. I'm really glad you made it today. It's always a great time to see you. Should we raid someone today? Should we raid? Oh, I'm gonna raid Perona. Perona's playing Yakuza 5. I love Yakuza 5. Yakuza 5 enjoyers in the chat. We got any Yakuza 5 enjoyers in the chat? I think Perona's playing the Haruka portion based on this title. Wait, let me see. Let me actually see. Okay, yeah, not too long since the start of it. Okay. I'm gonna send you over to Perona. I don't have a schedule set yet, but I'm gonna make it tomorrow. I'm actually going on vacation, starting on March 1st, so that'll be my last schedule for a little bit. But I hope to have some stuff recorded for when I'm gone. Yes, indeed. It's gonna be a good time. Many fun things are happening in the next little while. Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. Lack of Hazel. Oh yeah. Well, you won't be lacking me too long. I'll be around, and I'm gonna pre-record some LP stuff for you, some Let's Play stuff. So it's gonna be a great time. All right. I'll send you over to Perona. Have a wonderful night, everyone. I'll put a schedule up tomorrow or the next day. We'll see. So it's not Sunday or Monday. We'll do that. All right. Have a good night, everyone. Bye. I'll see you soon. Bye. Thank you.